Does the cabbage soup diet actually work? I'll be discussing questions like that today. Oh my gosh, it smells delicious. I'm Amanda Rose. I am down 140 pounds, and I ask each and every one of you, if you ate a meal this big for a year, could you lose weight? Could you end up maybe half your size, down 140 pounds? Maybe you don't have that many to lose. That would be great. But let's talk about this soup for weight loss, the good and the bad, about that classic cabbage soup diet that maybe many of us have tried over the years. Maybe some of you are new to it. Make no mistake, I'm gonna make some cabbage soup for you today. Following the cabbage soup diet, I will be adding ham and cheese to it. You could leave those off and have the classic cabbage soup diet, but hear me out. My own soup approach has been featured in a national magazine where it has been called a triple threat in weight loss compared to the classic cabbage soup diet. Mine has driven maybe even more success than that, though that got a lot more press than our little platform here at Eat Like a Bear, and we already have over 125 people who've lost over 100 pounds. Let's talk about this soup. First, I'm gonna get a couple of things cooking, but let me just add that in my book, Half My Size with Soups, Skillets, and Sautés, you're not gonna see a fresh onion or fresh bell pepper because I have a rule in the book. It's all like grab and dump, and I use dried spices in it somewhat shamelessly because a fresh onion is always fabulous, but it takes a little bit more time. You have to chop it or whatever, you saute it. We're gonna do that today. It will certainly add a great flavor to the soup. However, the long game strategy is that we develop recipes that are extremely simple, and as simple as this cabbage soup recipe is, it can be more simple still, and so the recipe that you find in the book uses dry seasonings completely. But today, let's go ahead and get these going. And so we're gonna just chop a bell pepper, get it in the skillet, and chop up an onion, get that in the skillet too. And through the magic of video, we already have the onions and peppers cooked, and I am gonna add the cabbage to this now. For 1 head of cabbage, I typically use about a half a gallon of broth. You can buy it in the cartons. I happen to have some homemade, ready for me. It's even hot. This will make it cook faster. Okay, so this is hot. Let's just take this off. It's already depressurized, it's not a big deal. Okay, so this is hot. This is gonna reduce my cook time a bit, so I always just kind of watch how it is. But here we go, I'm gonna pour it nice and hot right over the cabbage. If you have cold broth, if it's from your refrigerator, or if it's from one of those cartons, it's just gonna take a little longer to heat up. That's the only difference. I would not worry about it. However it is, it's gonna work. That's how easy soup is. And you could measure. Why would I measure? It's just broth. That's probably actually a little bit more than a half gallon, and that's okay. The strainer got some muck out of there. What's left behind is the bones. These are really premium, so I'm gonna actually add more water to this, and I'm gonna make another batch of broth, and I'm gonna use it on another soup. I mean, why not? The bones are here. They're still great. That was the first batch of broth I made off of those bones. You can get 2 premium batches. You can get even more. This is just missing some seasoning now. Salt and pepper in this size, I usually start with about a teaspoon of salt, a teaspoon of pepper, but then I taste it at the end. I let other people taste it at the end. This is gonna take about 20 minutes to heat up, to cook. And you know, if it goes longer, that's okay. I mean, I kind of like overcooked cabbage, so I don't worry about it. If you like yours a little bit more crisp, you're gonna wanna watch it. The cook time is gonna depend on the temperature that your broth started out with, you know, your stove, your elevation. So just watch it a little bit. I would maybe be checking it at that 15-minute point. And ultimately you need to find like the little groove that's gonna work for you. In the final minutes of cooking, I'm gonna add some ham to the soup so it warms up. And so we have nice warm ham in the soup. As we wait on that soup, let's talk a little bit about the cabbage soup diet, why it was the rage in the 1980s and 1990s, drove some weight loss success, including a little bit of my own for a little while. So what of it do we need to take and learn from and leverage to meet our long-term goals? Again, we're better than the cabbage soup diet because we're more specific. This is crafted to meet long-term goals, to win the long game in weight loss and in weight maintenance. First of all, the cabbage soup diet has been effective because it's inexpensive, it's simple. It's absolutely simple to implement. It is extremely calorie minded. And these are the principles that I used in my own life to lose the 140 pounds, some of the days eating things much like this cabbage soup that I'm making for you here today. You know, I eat raw versions as well, so we have the ridiculously big salad. There are a lot of ways to take this concept and adapt it to make it work to meet your own goals. And I teach this framework called the ridiculously big salad. This is the cooked version of that framework. This is driving massive amounts of success because it is also inexpensive, simple, calorie-minded, low carb, all of that, just like the cabbage soup diet, but it's different because If you think about the mindset that you used or that your parents or grandparents used in the 80s and 90s to implement the cabbage soup diet, it was very much a mindset of, I'm going to implement it for 2 days or 2 weeks, and then I'm going to kind of go back to where I was. And so I remember distinctly a holiday season where I very strategically did the cabbage soup diet, and I did lose weight, and maybe even more than the scale showed, because had I done something different through the holidays, I would have gained weight. Had I gone to all the Christmas cookies and all that, I was set up to gain weight. Instead, I went on the cabbage soup diet and I lost weight. So I don't know, I probably lost 10 pounds in a week or whatever. I mean, you get some extraordinary results with the cabbage soup diet, but the problem is then those 10 days were over and I kind of went back to what I was doing. I never saw the cabbage soup diet as something I was going to eat for the rest of my life. I mean, why would you? I mean, I like cabbage and I like cabbage soup, but oh my golly, every single day, the version of the cabbage soup diet I did was like the onion, the broth, cabbage, and that's about it. And so the idea of eating that your entire life is absolutely beyond me. It is not sustainable because you're gonna just get sick and tired of it. But it's interesting to me that all these years later, I've landed on something that's really kind of similar, except that, okay, so I don't leave it to just the cabbage and the onions. I make it one whole giant meal. I add protein, I add some more fat, as you have already seen. So first of all, let me call out this mindset of, we have the diet, and then we have the not diet. Look, you guys, you got to figure out how to eat for the whole rest of your life. And that is why this framework that I teach is actually very effective, because you can blend lots of flavors, lots of proteins, lots of all kinds of things. Get the benefit of this classic cabbage soup diet and get good flavor at the same time. So the approach that we take is a long game strategy. But let's delve down into a few points. So you can take this recipe, implement it, lose weight. But what I really encourage you to do is learn the framework. Guys, it's in the 3-day challenge, which is a free email mini course. That's it. That is it. You can learn the framework, then, implement, go be awesome. It's that simple. There are no like hidden things like, oh, once you get in that email, I'm going to trick you or whatever. I'm going to teach you the framework. This is what's driving the success. It's important to me that this approach is accessible to everyone. We're here in the poorest county in California. This can be done on food stamps. Make no mistake. And I'm not hiding some secrets behind a paywall. I highly encourage you to get in and learn the framework. But the framework, it's here in this recipe as well. This is a framework that's very inexpensive. Cabbage does not cost that much. Broth costs very little. This soup has ham and cheddar as well. You can shop for those. You can change those out. You don't have to include them. So you can shop prices for all of these things. It's inexpensive. It's simple. Once you learn the framework, the 4 layers of the ridiculously big salad, in this case, a soup that is cooked. The base layer, which is in the salad, is a green, a lettuce. Here we have cabbage and it's cooked. We have lots of skillet and saute dishes that use other types of vegetable in that first layer. There's always some kind of healthy fat in the sauce or in the added, like here we have cheese in this. There's always a healthy protein. And then sometimes there's added flavors, textures. All together, you need to watch your calories, okay? So this is a calorie-minded meal. And that is one of the reasons for success. But ultimately, learning that framework, you guys, that may set you free, help you meet those long-term goals. That is my goal for everybody watching this. So to lose those 140 pounds, I ate a meal like this cabbage soup, in one giant bowl a day, one meal a day. So another thing about this is different from the traditional cabbage soup diet that I did, is that this thing will set it on fire. One meal, one batch of cabbage soup, which is again why you're going to want some protein and some other things on it so that it is a well-rounded meal. And you're going to think this is too hard because you're used to eating all throughout the day and you've been told to do so to regulate your blood sugar or whatever else. I'll tell you guys what, it's all about training yourself. If you can train yourself to eat in one meal a day in about 1 hour, because it takes a while to chew it or whatever, you will train yourself that the rest of the day you're not eating. You're going to feel a lot less hungry. It's actually kind of shocking. This is easier. This is not harder. It's far easier once you start seeing the weight drop because you can go off and live the life that you want to live. It's like, boy, to me, it's felt like a miracle. I'm not promising miracles to you guys like all the weight loss marketers that promise us all this stupid stuff. I want you to try this. That's why you're going to take the 3-day challenge. It's free. Just go take it. Okay, go do it. The other reason the one meal is effective is you are only affecting your blood sugar one time a day. Over time, this will reduce your production of insulin. Insulin, you guys, your body's making it. It's making you fat. It's making you fat. The more you produce it over the years, the fatter you're going to get. Let's bring those levels down. Let's get our body producing it less, not more. The big way to do that is one meal a day. So yes, I am suggesting that with this cabbage soup diet, turn it up. Turn it up, you guys. Turn it up and make it one meal a day. Okay, maybe you've had bariatric surgery, you have a small stomach or whatever. There's other reasons. Maybe you're taking medication. Eat it in 4 hours. Reduce the number of hours that you're eating. Don't do like we did in the 80s and the 90s on the cabbage soup diet, eating it all throughout the day like that from morning until evening. No, keep that window tight. Keep the eating window tight. It's easier, it's not harder, it's far more effective. And when you start seeing the weight loss, boy, that is gonna fuel you to keep going and going and going. I want you to keep going. And so here we are. Woo! I'm gonna dip some of this out into my giant bowl. Oh my gosh, it smells delicious. Well, this amount would feed my whole family, but I would eat about half of this. So again, this is the one meal a day thing. So I'm eating half. I have no shame. All of my calories, all of my nutrients are in one giant bowl. And I'm gonna add some cheese to this. And so, does the cabbage soup diet work? We've talked a little bit about that today and other fun topics as we trim up here at Eat Like a Bear.